Hello, and welcome to episode 26 of Flesh and Pod. My name is Abby, and I am your host. With me, as always, are Logan and Jordan. We've had a busy week. Well, you two have had a busy week. So let's get started. Logan, what did you do in Flesh and Blood?
I played in an armory. I played Blitz. I played Kasai, and I think finished in third place in the armory. And in my prize packs, I opened another stalagmite because that's what we do.
Oh,
That is the fourth stalagmite opened by me.
I've opened one of those.
Four.
Jordan?
Oh, I'm
Yeah.
not done yet. But okay.
I think she
No,
was
I
trying to shit
meant.
talk that
No, I meant. Has
zero
Jordan
stalagmites.
opened? Yes, that is.
he has not. We already know that answer. Have you ever opened a legendary at all yet?
Yeah, I've opened a couple. Remember, I opened one the other day and just put it in the bulk
And
bin?
forgot that it
The
was
Vestige
yeah.
of Soul. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And then I also played in a Pro Quest on Saturday. Still playing Starvo, still feeling nauseous, and my transferable skill from my Magic playing has reared its ugly head twice now, and I lost in the top 8. So I do have these lovely tunic sleeves to show for my effort twice, though.
Good
They
job.
would look really interesting if they were housing cold foil heroes like they gave out in the last ProQuest season, and maybe on a nice playmat that finalists in ProQuest get like they did last season. But instead, they're just sealed in box because there's nothing for me to do with them because that's all you get. Just saying.
It would be cool if you got like a cold foil hero that had some money on the third market,
Sure. Oh, that would be wonderful. Yeah, that'd be great.
But hey, some
No.
sleeves that deteriorate with use.
They don't deteriorate if you leave them sealed in a box.
True.
That's all I
There
got.
you go.
True.
Jordan, what did you get up to?
This was the last week of COVID lockdown for us. Abby and I are both back to 100%, so I didn't really do anything flesh and bloody. I sleeved up the Rhinar v Dory dual decks, which we'll talk about here in a little bit. And looked through those and chatted flesh and blood and kind of did my normal like content creation consumption schedule.
Roasted Metazoo on Twitter a little bit.
Roasted Metazoo on Twitter a little bit. It was easy to do. They made it easy.
Yeah, it was low bar. Yeah.
I'm expecting my lifetime ban anytime soon.
I asked for one. I flat out asked them to give me one. I really hope that comes through because okay.
Yeah, if you want to follow this story more, get in our Discord.
And we'll actually release an episode, a halfway through episode to talk directly about the situation, and I'll run some comparisons between how to build community and how not to.
Right. To not be cryptic for people that aren't in Discord or don't follow like TCG News on Twitter, a friend of ours got lifetime banned from Metazoo this weekend for quote toxicity.
Technically 3 years, which is probably going to be lifetime.
Yeah, sorry. Yes, technically 3 years. Right. For quote toxicity on Twitter. What happened was that he voiced a concern about the registration process for 250K, and then also said that his opponent seemed new and that most of the players playing the game hadn't been new. And you can judge, dear listener, whether that is toxic or not. But that's the basis of what's going on. Again, there's a lot of details that are kind of like, it's kind of crazy and not that fun, honestly. But we'll have an episode about it.
Well, yeah, we'll have a filler episode about it where we're not going to devote a full FAP session.
Don't do it. Oh,
Nope.
I knew it. I knew it was coming. You knew it was coming. You couldn't help yourself. But
I couldn't
I
to
can't
the
help
topic,
myself either.
but we will release a bonus episode to discuss.
The last thing I want to do is give that god awful company more like acknowledgement than like
sure don't.
No. But anyway, hashtag justice for Dagon. And
Wow.
I saw that on Twitter. I think Jackal did that on Twitter.
That sounds about right. That sounds like the Jackal doing Jackal things.
But it was great. Anyway, that's basically what I did. Yeah, I kind of just consumed like TCG news, and I'm excited to be over COVID because I'm excited to play. I'm kind of in a weird spot with like Flesh and Blood right now, only because I don't plan on playing a ProQuest next weekend. And it's a dead meta otherwise. So I don't know how to most valuably spend my time. I might organize a cube night here for the Columbus guys. Might just play in general, like play some Rhinar or something because I like that deck. Even though it hurts my heart.
Why, it's fun.
Yeah.
The
Well,
Brit Squad would love you right now. That you're becoming
oh
one of
yeah,
them.
no, I don't know if they know that I feel that way because I did take some heat from the Brute Squad this week after my after my comments last week. But no, I do like playing Rhinar. I think the intimidate mechanic is very fun. So I might just mess around with that deck a little bit. But I am in a weird spot because I didn't get the opportunity to play in a ProQuest. There's not much of a reason for me to be playing right now, which is a weird thing to say, but you know.
Yeah, I honestly don't think that I'm not playing any ProQuests next weekend, mainly because I played it back to back, and then I'm going to Vegas, so I probably need a weekend like off in between to not hit burnout, or start hitting burnout. I'll still do my regular Armory stuff, but and then the Battle Hardened in Vegas is also classic constructed, where you'll still have Chane and Starvo legal, and it's like I'm going to bring a CC deck with me that is not Starvo, but it's honestly a coin flip if I actually get in there and play in the Battle Hardened. I'm really hoping that Tommy Fresh has that Levia juice figured out in Blitz, and we're into day 2, but you never know.
Yeah. Abby, what about you?
I did not play any this week. Despite
The
our
meme
best
lives.
efforts, I did get COVID, so that kind of put put me at a
Like you do.
disadvantage.
To be clear, COVID did not stop you from playing Flesh and Blood. You don't. You've not had COVID
No,
before.
it also didn't stop me from working, but that's not the point. So
Capitalism, slave to
right.
capitalism.
That's right.
Yeah.
No, I took a day off.
A day.
She did take one day off.
I took
Oh,
one day
good.
off.
I'm glad that you I'm glad that you took care of your mental and physical health so adroitly. That's very how great.
Yeah, that's a big deal for me. Okay, I don't ever.
I
take
understand it. It's just, dude.
What a very weird millennial thing to brag about being unwell. You know?
Yeah,
it's very
you
like
sounded very boomer. Is what you sounded.
Yeah, you're right. Like I sacrifice myself for billionaires that don't love me.
Yeah, I sure don't. Like, no.
Gosh,
if I'm dying, I am. Work is the least of
but
my
I wasn't
priority.
dying.
Well, a lot of people have died. Yeah, from the moment we step out of the womb, we were on a path.
Did you
death.
step out of the womb?
I did.
Did.
Yeah, I came out running. Like I literally came out running. I was ahead of the pack.
No joke. My mom tells the story that when I was born, I literally shot out and had to be caught by the doctor. It's my mother's story. It's probably apocryphal. I don't know if that's true, but she said the doctor was required to have a catcher's mitt because of how fast I wanted out of there. And
All
I'm
right,
like,
good to know. I'm going to move this along. Good Lord.
Hey, Abby's back.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah.
All right, so news this week. So Road to Nationals is going to have uprising drafts and classic constructed events. And the stores didn't get to choose, is that correct?
No, it was they were issued
they
to you, and everyone I've seen issued so far was for an uprising draft.
I've seen one or two that were classic constructed here in the Midwestern or Mideastern region.
I haven't looked.
What's that?
I haven't looked, but I know that. Was it T that said that they just told you what you were doing?
Right, they did not get to pick. Yeah. I guess we're like Northern Ohio is Rust Belt, right, Logan? I heard.
Yeah, it's Rust Belt.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I often forget because some people associate Southern Ohio with like the South because we border Kentucky.
No, that's all
which is like incorrect, but definitely more Rust Belty. But yeah, no, I've seen one or two here in the Rust Belt region. I'm going to go to every uprising draft one that I can.
We finally got one in Des Moines. Like that's a big deal for this community and the players here. We've had skirmish as the highest thing we've gotten. So this actually matters a lot for the community here. It's huge. We've grown from the 6 regulars and some hangers on and filters in to about 16 regulars, with about another 4 that kind of flit in and out. So, a scene of about 20 people that are playing at least on a semi-regular basis. I mean, that's just a lot of growth. And shouts out to the Iowa crew for helping grow the game and get us a larger event. That's great.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, that's great for you guys. Like the fact you guys are weirdly situated geographically too, that like nothing is close, but nothing is too far. You
That's
know, so you're
exactly
kind of
right.
in this little weird hellhole of driving to like a different state every weekend, and like that's not great. Where
Keep
like,
it coming. We like to hear that kind of thing. Just keep the hellhole talk coming. It helps. It helps
I mean,
salve the
Iowa's a beautiful part
wounds.
of the world. I more mean
It's
just from like
Not.
it
No.
looks good on it looks good in that baseball movie.
It does. R.I.P. Ray Liotta. But
Oh yeah, that's sad.
that's it's a lot of corn.
Mhm.
It's very
Okay,
flat.
okay.
I will cop to the river valleys in Iowa are absolutely beautiful, and with massive bluffs and some really cool like overlooks and things like that. For the most part, not so much.
The world's largest truck stop is dope.
Oh, I-80, yeah. Yep, there's a lot of stuff in there.
I've been there one
Yeah.
time.
One
Twice,
time.
I guess. I went
Oh,
both
yeah.
times. No, the basically 8 hours that I drove through Iowa felt the same the whole time. It
How the hell
was.
did you spend 8 hours driving through Iowa?
It felt like 8 hours. I drove from one side of Iowa basically to the other
Does
side.
not take 8 hours.
It felt like 8 hours.
So I think she maybe described her total drive time was 8 hours.
Nope, not
No.
even.
From here, I mean, from here to like the other side of Iowa is probably 8 hours, right?
Oh, from you to like
No, I was
eastern
like
Iowa.
Sure, and
12
yeah,
hours, I think.
Yeah, and yeah, from to go to like the all the way across Iowa from Columbus would be about 12. Yeah.
yeah. Because she had a friend that lives there now and was in Columbus as a transplant temporarily, so that she went out to visit. That's the reference there.
It
Not
is
driving
12.
from west to
It
east.
is 12 and a half hours
Gotcha.
from
Oh,
here
yeah.
to.
Where
To
she
the other
lives.
side of Iowa. Yeah, to western
Yes.
Iowa. Yep.
Yeah, it was
That makes
awesome.
sense.
It felt
Because
like
it's about
forever.
10 hours for me to get to Columbus, give or take.
Okay, so that tracks.
Mhm.
Okay.
So, Road to
Travel talk.
Nationals.
This has been
Yeah,
travel talk.
Jesus.
We
Yeah.
did say road was part of the title, so we've been talking about roads. I mean, we're staying on topic. Jesus, Abby, give us a break.
Yeah,
Okay.
whatever.
And it comes back and just like, oh,
Um,
nope. We're on topic. Screw you.
So, it's going to be either Classic Constructed or Uprising Draft based on the store. So, when you go look, keep that in mind.
Yep, they'll be listed.
Prize kit. So, top 4 get a Nationals qualification. And then first place gets an Icelander adult hero cold foil, and then a cold foil adult hero of either Fae or Dramai. And then uh the rest of top 8 gets a cold foil hero, either Fae or Dramai, and then 9th through 32nd gets a rainbow foil extended art card. But it does not
I
say
got
what it
sleeves.
is. That's good.
For ProQuest top 8, yeah. I don't know what the prize disparity is. PQ season 1 had cool prizes. Road to Nationals 2022 has cool prizes. PQ season 2 just like
Nope.
we have a bunch of these in a box. Get them out of here. I don't
Yep.
know.
That's what it feels like.
I don't know, man. That's so weird to me. Yeah,
Got
like
burned.
I like top 32 for prizes. Some stores are capping at 32 because it makes draft pods easier to manage. I respect that. I like the idea that a player can sign up for these and like know that they're going to get something.
Yeah.
I also see it the other way too, of like these are competitive rel tournaments, or as we would understand them as like coming from other games, like a competitive tournament. Sometimes you pay money and don't get anything. So I respect it both ways.
And I know that some stores are actually looking at it as an attendance thing that they're going to be doing. You draft if it's 8 players, it's a single draft. If it's 16 players, it's a single draft, redraft, top 8. If it's like 32 players, they're going to do draft, 2 drafts, and then draft top 8. So there's a lot of this going on where like they're structuring them in a very cool way. A very fun way to play the game is to have multiple bites at the apple.
Right.
So one person opening the nuts, in a pack and then kind of getting fed through an entire pod doesn't necessarily mean that they're an unstoppable killing machine going straight to the finals. You have to come back and redo it. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
Me too. I know the Columbus one off the top of my head is doing the double draft, redraft for top 8. And I like that a lot, because worst case scenario, like let's say you go to one that's uncapped and you come in 37th. Worst case scenario, you just bought some booster packs and got to play the game, and that feels good too. Like
Right.
sealed events are really good from at least I have something physical in my hands that I'm leaving with. Whereas CC, it's like, oh, I have to carry this shitty deck out of here.
I made that comment just on Saturday. I'm like, I'm just gonna throw this in the trash on the way out because
Well, your draft commons that comprise of your Tales of Aria deck.
that make my CC deck. I was just gonna take out the cold foil pulses and throw the rest
the rest in the trash can.
We're done here.
You would be losing maybe $10 total. I mean, I guess like you would take the legendaries out too, but otherwise,
no, I would keep. Yeah, I would 100% keeping the equipment. It's the okay. So what is it? Crippling crushes are a couple of dollars.
how much are Oakenolds? Are those any money?
Like $2 or $3, I think. Still.
Okay, so maybe you're throwing away $50 at the trash can.
Oh yeah, it's probably sub 50.
It's just like comical how like Fab is a weird game in that like your 60 card deck or your 71 card deck for a lot of the decks is not that much money.
Mm-mm.
You know, your equipment is really the bulk of your
10
cost.
cards sitting over here.
Yeah,
These
are
10
of dollars.
cards are crushing your soul.
Yep.
These 60, as long as they are not comprised of 3 Command and Conquers, 3 Art of Wars, and 3 Enlightened Strikes, are kind of just there.
Yeah, yeah, they're good. They're cheap. Most of them are virtually free. Like, you know,
pretty close.
Yeah, like most rares are sub $1. Almost all rares are sub $1.
Almost all rares are sub $1.
Yeah. Most majestics are sub 5. You know,
also true. Yeah.
So
yeah,
game's weird. I like it.
Game's weird, man.
It is weird. The Rhinar versus Dorinthea Classic Battles is out.
My opinion hasn't changed.
Did you see that there are at least silver lining at least 2 copies of the new cards in the deck?
Yes.
So that is at least a silver lining compared to what we talked about in the past, where we were like, man, if they only print one of this, like, give your next weapon attack, go again, attack reaction, that's bad. At least there's a new one, a second one.
Yeah.
So
the Majestics are still one-ofs, I believe, but
you know, I don't know. I have my deck box over here. Let me grab it and you talk for a second.
Okay, well, I will talk while you grab it.
Well,
I don't like
you did that to you.
I don't know.
I'm
you did. I'm pretty.
Nope.
I'm pretty sure I did not do that to me. You gave me the reins to talk for a minute too, so that was on you. I still have to pick up mine. I have not gone and grabbed my Classic Battles boxes yet. I grabbed a couple, but yeah, and from what I'm hearing from people, just like taking the product out, sleeping up, and playing it, they're having fun, and that's really what matters at the end of the day for this product.
Yeah, so I think the foil Blossom of Spring is like really cool. The cold foils in this are really sweet. There is the new cracked bauble.
Platinum bauble. That's a
titanium bauble, sir.
Titanium. My bad.
Yeah, pitches for 3, blocks for 3.
Blocks for 3. It's blue that blocks for 3.
Yep.
Like it is the heart and soul of anybody who ever wanted to draft a card in Guardian ever. It is a blue that blocks for 3. The rest of it doesn't matter.
You were right that there is only one glistening steel blade.
Yep.
And hollow gold helm. That is never mind. That is a problem. So.
And 1 alpha rampage for Rhinar.
Yeah.
Which it's alpha rampage.
Right. An overcosted attack.
Hey.
Yeah. I will say that the run through, which is the yellow costs 1, blocks for 3 attack reaction, target sword attacking go again, your next sword attacking +2. There are 2 of those in the deck.
Yeah, that's one of the important ones. Yep.
So fortunately there are 2 of that one. The other cards honestly they're not that great. Look, the on a knife's edge, the common that gives your next sword attack go again. It's fine.
Nah.
It's a 0 that blocks for 2. It'll make the cube. Maybe.
Will it?
It probably will in the warrior slot. I know that it's a generic, but the Dorinthea in the cube needs more ways to give their weapon go again. So
you can just play Blade Runner.
I don't know. Dorinthea needs more examination in the cube for what she wants to be doing. But anyway, that's not what we're talking about. But
that is not what we're talking about.
Oh boy.
But glistening steel blade being a one of is a problem because that card is good. And if you don't know what that is, it is a warrior action. It blocks for 3. It's a yellow. So it pitches for 2. It costs 1. Your next Dawnblade attack this turn has go again. And if it hits a hero this turn, whenever Dawnblade hits a hero this turn, put a +1 counter on it. So that is a strong Flesh and Blood card.
The flavor text on it is make 20 Blade great again. But
Yeah.
yeah.
But no, the product's good. Like as a product for what it's designed for, I think it's good.
Yeah, I think it's a good product.
Yeah, they need to make these cards not classic constructed legal.
Yeah,
we talked about
we
that.
talked about this, but
I don't mind them being classic constructed legal just from the point of view of introducing new players and then having them open this box, have the decks, get into the game, and then go okay, and then go try to show up to an event with the cards that they bought and some other cards to round them out and be told they can't play.
Sure.
And that's not a good feeling. So I think that they're fine being classic constructed legal.
Do you think
if you're going to do otherwise, make them like what's that?
Do you think they're going to add them to Uprising?
No, because they're warrior cards.
Yeah, there's no warrior in Uprising.
No warriors or brutes in Uprising.
Yeah.
So I thought you said one of them was a generic.
There are some generics.
There are some generics in there that are new.
But they're terrible.
They're not good. Those are the ones we're talking about. Yeah. The ones we want are the Dorinthea specialization and the run through. Yeah.
Those are the good cards.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So we'll see how they fix that.
Interesting. I mean,
what are they on TCG Player right now?
Promos? I don't even want to know.
Okay, so I'm just gonna look up Run Through because I don't remember the name of the.
Glistening Steel Blade is the other one.
Run Through is $1, which is not bad.
Makes sense. That's not bad. But Glistening Steel Blade is your problem card.
Glistening Steel Blade, Flesh and Blood TCG, great 2773.
Yep, that makes sense.
And that does track, right? It's about half the value of that box. So yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Well, fascinating. All right. And then our second bestie, Chane, got 104 points last weekend. So they are at 912. Do we have this weekend's results yet?
We don't yet.
This number does not include... We're recording on Memorial Day, May 30th. So
yeah, this is not going to include the Pro Quest that happened this past weekend on the 20th and 29th. So Chandler may soon be leaving Hot Topic and going to college is what this all turns to. And I'm pretty sure we're going to be looking at a really cool, really fresh, really interesting, brand new meta for Uprising. And that is awesome.
Yeah,
because time to figure it out. But yeah, I think good is gone. Like honestly, just good is gone. Need 98 or it needs 88 more, so 20 or is it?
They're 4 points apiece.
Yeah, 22 wins then. Yep.
Yeah, and he had what 30 or so, 26. So even if there's still this week that we don't have that just finished, and then there's another week.
Mm-hmm. So we need 13 and 13 out of all the events.
And one guy that I saw on Twitter said that he had a sample of 9 Pro Quests that had 3 with Chane. So that is a sufficient pace.
That is considering that there was 97 Pro Quests, and so if you just do the easy math times 12, that means 36 Chane wins if that extrapolates correctly. Yeah, which is you're over.
Yeah.
Ooh, we shall see. Don't worry, I'm sure they'll post this weekend's results in about 25 minutes once we have
correct. Yep. And Oldham is starting to come up in Blitz too. It's at 366.
And that's 500 for that format, right?
It's 500.
So it could go away at... How do Living Legend points work for team formats?
Good question.
Yeah.
I wonder if they all get defined. Hit. I think they would. I have a lot of questions around how team format affects things like ELO and Living Legend points. I can't think of anything that makes specific sense. So I'm curious because if I'm sitting here playing next to a Levia player as an Oldham player or something with like another nice sweaty deck on the other side of the Levia, and we just start popping Levia up, feel bad for Levia at that point.
Right. Like people that actually care about Levia.
I should not talk because Levia is on the Living Legend board now.
She did win.
She has a win in Blood Debtless Levia.
And the Brute Squad goes crazy.
The Brute Squad was losing their absolute minds because they finally their Lord and Savior, their dominatrix of choice is finally getting loved and is stepping on people in return, which is exactly what they want. So
there you go.
They are very happy, and I have seen it in all the variety of brute-friendly Discord conversations being talked about in hallowed tones. So
Yeah.
I'm glad for them, and I really hope that Levia becomes a thing because I own too many cold foil Levia cards, and I would like them to have value.
Did you get that cold foil hero from a ProQuest or?
Damn, brutal.
But if you
The
are a Levia
dagger.
fan and you're not on the Discord, you should join because we have quite the fan base in there.
There's a lot of Levia stands. They should probably change all their names to Stan at this point. Just have like a Stan rule that they can.
Oh
select.
yeah, I should set that up. Like,
yeah.
and that could be the priority one, so that like they'll be purple or something. And
they're purple Stan. Yeah,
there you go.
I like that.
We do not have a Reddit thread of the week this week
because Reddit is a shithole. We've
is.
discussed this.
Yeah.
So to get into some Reddit meta, there are 2 Flesh and Blood subreddits. One is like heavily moderated, like a decent place. The other is like a spam factory, and not moderated, obviously by virtue of that. And so there's like some fracture, and so basically everything that's on one gets posted on the other, and then like the other one is like bad, and like there's just not like a really lot of great content week to week on Reddit. So go and make an absurd post on Reddit.
That's right.
There's a spam museum in Minnesota, right?
Ew.
Yeah, I believe it's in Austin. Yeah, I just looked it up again. It's in Austin, Minnesota, southern Minnesota. You can go and you can learn all about spam, and I mean the pressed meat. I don't mean
made there?
Digital.
Because I know spam is super big in Hawaii.
Yes. Well, the Hormel company is very big in the Midwest in general, and that's who makes spam. Like, there's a Hormel plant in my hometown. So, it very well might be. I guess I don't know.
We have one in the Cincinnati area. I know Jordan was curious if I was going to tell.
Yeah, according to this, it says the Spam Museum is an admission-free museum in Austin, so you can go for free. Minnesota, dedicated to spam, a brand of canned, pre-cooked meat products made by Hormel Foods Corporation. If they call it a meat product, steer clear. The museum tells the history of the Hormel company, the origin of spam, and its place in world culture. World culture?
Yeah, no, in Hawaii they make I don't know
Musubi.
what it's called. Thank you. But yeah, it's like it is spam sushi. Yep.
I've had it. It's horrible. Just putting that out there. But yeah, they do make it, and it is not delightful.
Not delightful.
No, you sure can't. You can also do virtual tours of the spam factory if you feel a need. But I just feel some spam facts were probably a good thing to throw in there since we were talking about the spam factory that is Reddit, specifically the Fab subreddit.
Yeah, my grandma used to make spam pizza.
My mother used to make these like pizza burgers, open face like pizza burgers using spam instead of real meat. And by some wizardry, my mother is literally a dark magician because she can make the worst things taste good. She figured the correct amounts of salt and butter to make anything edible. And so I would still eat the living shit out of that. I don't know what she does, but it is amazing. And I don't get it. It makes no sense whatsoever. Just doesn't. I mean, I grew up in a weird place. My father put tartar sauce, cheese, and peanut butter on fish sandwiches. So you can. Yep, that look on Jordan's face just made him lose weight.
What the fuck are we talking? Yeah. I just felt an artery clear. Wow. I think I just did 5 push-ups. Yeah,
I just gave. That's a favor. That is a favor to everybody that listens to this show too. That you now know that there's a human being that exists that did die of a massive heart attack, but there was a human being that existed that did that.
Yeah.
So
my grandpa drinks. He only drinks coffee. Like literally only.
That's a choice.
And it used to confuse me often. We would go to like dinner with them, and like so we would like get pizza or something.
Like 7 o'clock at night or whatever.
Yep. And he would be sitting there drinking eating pizza, drinking his black coffee, and I'm like, what is wrong with you? Like,
did he at least switch to decaf sometimes?
No.
Just fully leaded. the
Yep.
whole time.
All the
Why
time.
am I anxious and scared and awake?
This is
I
like,
don't know. Better get some more of that bean juice.
this is like the people that wander into a bar and deadass order a Bud Heavy. It's like, I would like a Budweiser. Would you like a Bud Light? No.
No.
I
Bud
need the
Heavy.
diesel.
Yeah.
You bring that now.
I need that
And it's like,
600 calories per bottle right now. These are people that are keeping Marlboro Reds in print. You know, these are the same people.
original Camels and Lucky Strikes. This
Oh
is the breakfast of champions. So yeah, we are down that rabbit hole all of a sudden, and
All
Abby
right.
did not steer us back.
No,
So
I let it happen. I participated in it. I don't get to do that often, so
you don't. No, normally you just leave Jordan and I to be the nonsense couple.
exactly. All right, so we have 4 listener questions this week.
That's a lot of listener questions. You guys are killing it.
That you are. The first one is from Teague, and it's Tales of Aria had almost no generics aside from some equipment. What are you hoping to see in Uprising with respect to generics?
I think we got some of that info. We're gonna have some generic slotted weapons.
We did, yeah. We did
Not
hear
weapons,
a little bit
armor
about that.
specifically. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's going to be a return to the norm from that regard.
Yep, and we'll still get some of that, which is good. And to say that Tales of Aria had no generics is somewhat misleading, because the elemental cards in Tales of Aria were generic in Tales of Aria. So if you're talking about the limited environment specifically, the cards that are just elemental, like you can play Weave Lightning in Oldhim, or not Weave Lightning, Entwine Lightning in Oldhim if you fucking want to. You just never fuse it ever.
Right.
Because it's not an Essence of Lightning card.
Right.
So they did have generics that were generic to Tales, but I think that did confuse people too. Because again, how many people have you seen running a Tales of Aria seal deck that are, because honestly, Entwine Lightning Red is a playable card in Oldhim if you really want to. If you're being a little more aggressive, or Entwine Ice and Briar. I mean, you can do some things with those if you want to. If you need extra blues, as an example, like that's just an extra blue you can grab. So, I don't know. Like, I think going back to the norm is probably a good idea. There's less confusion. There's more cards that can travel across the formats, because that's your bigger problem with those elemental cards. While they're generics in Aria, they're not generics out in the wild.
Yeah,
and that's problematic.
I completely agree with you. I think that calling them generics will alleviate a lot of new player confusion, will alleviate a lot of established player confusion.
Yep.
I think that I'm hoping to see that the generics play a large role in Uprising, with 3 heroes being the de facto number now, or what to be the confirmed number in Uprising.
Although the conspiracy theorists are still saying there's a 4th. And the conspiracy theorists
that's
are
wild
Tommy
to me.
and Flake.
James said, yeah, the man won't let it go. James said there's 3. I mean, at this point, I would be shocked if there were 4. Like, I'd be a little upset almost, because like, why lie?
The dude's a pro wrestling fan. A James White heel turn is gonna come at some point.
Is that what this game needs?
Yes.
Yeah.
I love a good heel turn.
Who doesn't?
From the author of your game? Oh man.
I don't know, but
Yes, especially after he was so nice to everybody. It's perfect time.
Wardlow did powerbomb MJF 10
players.
times, so that was a thing.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, no, I do think that generics will play a large role. Because you'll have 8 players fighting over 3 heroes. I
think we get a generic legendary too.
I wouldn't be surprised by that. Yeah, I think the big set is when you want to do that as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I wouldn't be surprised by that. And this is another example of a Teague question that, like, I even pinned. This was supposed to be last week, and I'm sorry, Teague, I forgot.
We get him a lot.
Dude, it's with Teague a lot specifically,
and
there's nothing. There's no ill will. There's nothing. It's not intentional. Like, it's just. I saw this in the pinned thing and was like, I don't think we talked about that.
We sure didn't.
Like, so here it is. I'm sorry.
I guess we'll have to start double checking your work.
It's probably a good idea.
Yeah, he might have Teague muted. I don't know. What are you doing?
That's what's I don't.
Yeah, who knows? All right, question number 2 is from Sleepy Jackal.
The Jackal.
Should LSS allow tournament organizers to give players a proxy of a card outside of the current guidelines? mostly related to more expensive cards such as Fabled, like Eye of Aethydia, Great Library of Solana, so on. As it stands, you run the risk of either you or your opponent damaging the card in play, and that alone can keep people from playing them.
All right, so I love Sleepy Jackal. This is the most F tier take.
Yep, I'm out.
And I can say this because I know that Sleepy Jackal does it. I'm not just being mean for the sake of being mean.
No.
We talked about this in the Discord. All of this is nuance. I can appreciate someone that comes out on the other side of this because these cards are worth a lot of money. I can appreciate someone that says, "Hey, I have this thing. I don't want to just let some random stranger touch my $1,000 card or whatever." I totally get that. Don't hear it as I don't appreciate investments. I don't like the take only because cards are for playing to me. And what else are we doing in the game if not playing for the cards? Playing with the cards. And I recognize that this opinion is completely arbitrary. I think I said this in the Discord. If a player verifies that they own the card and then wants to like have them proxied, it is completely arbitrary for me to say, I don't want you to like be able to use a proxy. I want you to be able to use a real flushable card, because there's really no literal difference between my opponent playing with like a jack of clubs sleeved up versus like their library, right? There's no practical difference. If I know the jack of clubs is a library, that's fine. It's all fake anyway. Like none of these things are really real, right? But from the playing the game standpoint, I want to play with the actual cards. I want to, I want my opponent to play with the cards that they're claiming to be playing with. And I recognize that as arbitrary, but it would be such a decrease in experience for me because of that. And so it's not an F take. I'll walk it back. It's a take that I don't agree with.
It's a C take.
It's a take that I see the perspective of, but still disagree.
So I get where you're going. I really do. And in large,
me or Sleep Jaggle?
You.
Okay.
Absolutely. I think that that there deserves to be delineation between the types of events. If you're playing at a professional level, or even at a high casual level, absolutely not. Like, the card is supposed to be in your deck, put it in your damn deck. That's just my take on it. I also understand that there is something of a means test here, and I get that part too.
Yeah.
I riffle shuffle my Eyes of Aphidia. I do not care whatsoever. I bend the ever-loving shit out of my Fableds, and they are. It doesn't blanch me. It makes other people cringe, but it doesn't do anything to me. But I can't project that attitude, that wanton carelessness for pretty expensive pieces of cardboard onto someone else. So if we're sitting in an armory and somebody's like, "Hey, this is my Eye of Aphidia. I'm putting it on the table. I don't want it damaged, so I have a card in here that is turned face down, and I'm using non-opaque, using sleeves that are opaque that I can't see through, and just have Eye of Aphidia written on it. So if we need the text, it's right here." At at an armory or even a skirmish, I'm gonna go, okay, that's fine. I don't care. But at a higher level event, it's like, okay, we're all people that are somewhat priced into this game, and I think that the real cards should be in the deck to represent what they do. So I'm not scrambling around looking for the thing that you showed me 20 minutes ago or whatever. It should be, I can pick this card up and read it and put it back down that you just played. That's it. That's kind of where I fall in it, which is kind of the middle ground, I want to say. So if deck lists are required, I want the cards in the deck to match the deck list. That's where I'm going with this.
Yeah, no disagreement for me.
I don't know. I've never played with expensive cards, so I don't.
We can fix that.
Know that why would I ever use one of those in a blitz deck?
An Eye of Aphidia? Play Kano.
Yeah, play
Icelander.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I've never played
You need that scry.
So.
Well, I mean, like, Command and Conquerors aren't cheap, right?
No, like, sure not.
Again, you make a good point about means testing too, about where do we set the barrier for what's an expensive card. The question outlines specifically Fableds, which I think is a fair line to draw.
It's a line, yeah.
Someone could also draw the line at Legendary. Someone also could draw the line at expensive super rares, right?
There are 2 legendaries that would be shuffled in a deck. 2. And one of them is about to go bye-bye. So what's the problem on legendaries? Eclipse and Doomsday. That's it. Those are your 2. They're they're one-ofs in either Chane or Levia, and that's it. But we're about to get different ones because we're about to get the Marvels that exist in exist in Uprising that they're not going to be cheap.
Who knows what they're going to be valued at? Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So I mean, but my point was the line is also arbitrary, and like it could be super rares. Like Command and Conquers are expensive.
But Command and Conquers are majestic. The most expensive super rare is Tome of Findle.
Oh, really?
I think so.
Okay.
Like the super, but they're majestics in History Pack 1, so sure. That because the super rare rating is gone. It only existed for the first 2 sets.
Right.
So
yeah, I mean, I guess I don't know. I also am not great at shuffling cards, so I wouldn't be concerned with like that.
Yeah, I don't. I specifically riffle shuffle the absolute piss out of my cards, and do not do it to my opponent's cards. So
yeah, I do the best shuffling when I am shuffling somebody else's deck.
I'm the kindest if I'm handling other people's goods. You can take that however you need to, but I am the kindest in handling other people's goods.
Yeah, sounds like we're ready to move on. Okay. Question number 3, also from Teague. Jordan, is this?
I think this one's current. I think this one is
actually current.
Okay. All right. Just for lulz, what is some terrible advice you could give to a player? I made one in jest the other day that surprisingly got a very visceral reaction. Still all in good fun. It was, if you need AB, you could always swap one out one of your Kodachis for Arcane Lantern.
So AB is Arcane Barrier. And I mean, there's some real fun ones in here. If you, it's like, if you're playing Gambler's Gloves, you should put some Crazy Brews in your deck, because if you don't get a dice roll you like, you can just re-roll it. Or, if you just played 2 Ramparts and no weapon, then all your blues block for 3. With Crown of Seeds specifically. Terrible things like that.
Terrible things to say.
I think is what we're talking about. Just no.
To be fair, literally any advice that I would give someone is probably bad advice.
or my best piece of terrible advice you could give a player is you should really play Azalea.
You like Rangers? Sweet.
That's right. There you go.
Here's one.
That's probably the most terrible advice you could actually give a player in Flesh and Blood is you could play Azalea. That's it. I'm pretty sure that's the worst. Or saying what's the dumb card that goes and gets the defense reaction you can pump.
Oh yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. The when it's blocking, you can pay resources to give it more mana or whatever.
Right. But let's go fetch those. Like that's probably as bad.
I do think the meanest thing you could say to someone is to play Azalea.
I think so.
I think it's like if you're trying to be intentionally deceptive, that's probably the way to go. Also that Rhinar or like Levia are inherently powerful in the current meta.
Well,
like those are an effect that a new player can get trapped by.
Yes.
Like they can't ever block. Sweet. Like
so. I think that as soon as they understand what an on-hit effect is and the fact that Brute just doesn't have them, they kind of just get it. But the fact that you can sometimes just dome your opponent for their life total over the course of a turn in Blitz and over the course of a couple of turns in CC is intoxicating.
Yes.
And
oh my God, it's so much fun.
If your on-hit effect is your opponent is dead, it's a pretty good on hit.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Like to be clear to the Brute Squad that will yell at me for this, Rhinar is literally the only deck that I have sleeved right now. I took apart
Starvo threw it in trash.
Deck that I just play. Yeah. I just took apart Starvo. Ninja is like in pieces.
What are you doing? No, Ninja needs to stay together at all points in time.
It's scattered because Ira is Abby's Blitz deck, and so the Katsu is like just in a random box, just like
But
in shambles.
I can just hand you. I got 2 copies built. I can just hand you the second one.
I don't want that blood in my hands.
No, I play the blood on her hands.
See,
That's my thing.
Go. Yeah.
Like that is my favorite card art in Flesh and Blood. Full stop. Not even close. Like, oh my.
All right. Question number 4 is from Alan. Should LSS make a, quote, hero pack as a separate product? Something that allows them to easily replace very unique heroes. For example, when Chane rotates, there will be no Shadow Runeblade. So while strictly Runeblade cards will remain playable, Shadow Runeblades will not be. How aggressive do you think LSS should be in ensuring cards in the game remain actively usable at all times?
They did discuss this a good bit in our Discord, so I'm going to rehash some of the arguments that were laid out there by some of the Flesh and Pod listeners. But James White did address this question specifically on his panel at the Pro Tour with Chane. The person that at the Pro Tour asked about something like Prism is the only light illusionist. It's a very valid question. I want to start by like validating the concern, because like the integrity of your purchase is like the most important thing in a consumer, and TCGs are very bad about validating and like keeping the integrity of a player's purchase. And we've talked about this on this show a lot, about how like the ban list, rotations, all that kind of stuff are very bad at validating your purchase, and that's just inherent to the industry as a whole. It is kind of a predatory industry from that angle. But James White was very frank and said, hey, there's going to be some cooling off time for some of these heroes. So if Chane gets suspended, or I'm sorry, Living Legend out, don't think that means that tomorrow I'm going to print a Shadow Runeblade. Don't think that means I'm going to print a Shadow Runeblade Chane so that your chain specializations are good. They could sit for 3 months, 6 months, a year, 2 years. They'll come again. There will be another Shadow Runeblade. There might be another Shadow Runeblade Chane.
There's also a Living Legend format.
Right. That's true too.
Right.
That's true too.
They're not dead cards. Like, the hardest thing for people to accept in this TCG, because all of us, and I do think I mean almost like it's not literally all of us, but it's enough of a sample population to basically be able to say all of us have been burned by a TCG before that did not survive. It didn't make it. Yeah, right. Yeah, Abby's hand is up.
No, I have not. Sorry.
You played L5R. Oh, wait, that was
yep.
Yeah. Also, well, we played Argent.
Oh, I went the whole episode without saying fuck.
Sorry.
Right. And the odds makers take a beating.
Yeah, they just got beat pretty hard.
You played Argent Saga, Abby.
I wouldn't say
got him. The fact is that we've, like, almost all of us have been burned before. And so when we have cards that are no longer playable and don't retain their value necessarily while the game is still going, we see that as sort of a sky is falling type of situation, where all of a sudden it's like, oh god, my cards aren't worth anything anymore. I need to sell out the rest of the stuff because maybe they're not going to be worth anything anymore. And it creates kind of this weird hiccup effect. My address to that would simply be, don't. This game has showed remarkable staying power. It existed as a game meant to be played in person through COVID, when no one could play the game in person, and found a way to thrive. If you listen to our roundtable episode, Flake nailed it when he said, it was a big I told you so. It was a big middle finger to all the naysayers at Pro Tour New Jersey. It was, you said that this couldn't work? Deuces, it works. And all people are talking about what's going to happen 12, 18, 24 months from now, on the assumption that this game is going to exist. And these are the same people that have been burned. They're working from the assumption that this is going to be around. And it's not like they haven't been gutted before by something. Whether it be Force of Will, Final Fantasy, Star Wars TCG, my heart breaks. or the original L5R, Lord of the Rings, Spellfire, Argent Saga. God, this list is long. But X-Files. I played X-Files.
Oh wow.
But yeah, the fact remains that the best thing a person can be doing right now is saying, okay, Chane rotated out. I have my Chane stuff. I'm just going to put this in a box and wait for Living Legend. Great. They're not going to make placeholder heroes. That doesn't make any sense. That doesn't fit the vision. That doesn't fit the way this game is structured to progress metagame, so there's nothing that can just remain dominant forever. We're eventually going to get a really cool format where I get to play Seeds of Agony again.
Do we know that for Living Legend format that it is just going to be a no holds barred? Like
we do not know the rules.
Okay.
However, we do know that Seeds of Agony comes off the suspended list as soon as Chane is gone.
Oh, I forgot about that. So there are downstream effects.
Levy Seeds, baby. Let's go. That means my Enlightened Strikes go back in the decks.
No, but I thought this was an interesting question.
It is. It really is, because this is about shareholder value, or stakeholder value, I should say, not shareholder, but
stakeholder.
Yeah. I don't think LSS is going to be aggressive at all. I think that they know what they want. They have a roadmap. They have a plan, and they are doing an incredible job of executing it. Dude, it's what Seattle should have been doing in the NFL. Let Russ cook. In this case, let J-Dubs cook. Like, he's got this. Let it go.
I will say that
a plan.
I resonate with this question a lot because when Keyforge got announced by FFG, Abby can attest to that. PAX Unplugged, I asked a question to the panel about the validity of your purchase over time. How does a person that buys in at Welcome to Wraith, know that their cards will still be good come Uprising? LSS has done a phenomenal job with power creep and card development so far, but I totally get where Alan's coming from, and I'm glad you said what you did about like, hey, like there is another day that you'll get to use your Chane cards and your Shadow Runeblade cards, even if the next thing is further down the road, right? Even if the next Shadow Runeblade is further down the road. But I also do like the idea of just boxing my little cards away for a little bit.
Yep, I've done that for a long time.
And again, that also could be, we talked about this a lot on this show. The idea of like a privilege, like an economic privilege position that like you and I don't have the limitation of just buying one hero. I definitely could see our perspectives being different if we bought into Chane maybe 6 months ago, when it was at like kind of its
Apex.
It's Apex. Like, yeah, this deck is sweet. Yeah. We bought Chane cards, or maybe when Bravo got launched and it was at its lowest, right? Mm-hmm. Like, oh sweet, like let's buy into this deck that's really fun and I like the feel of. And then now those cards don't seem good. I definitely could see my perspective being changed if I didn't have that.
I mean, it's like the means test exists because when I first bought into this game, I bought into Chane. It was the first deck I bought. I've said this 1,000 times. Seeds gets banned. The deck is not good for a period of time, and my reaction wasn't screw this game, I'm selling out of all these cards. It was okay, well, I'm going to just go ahead and own all the cards. That way
this doesn't happen again, right?
Because I love the game enough that matters.
Right. So that's that's definitely a thing that could be perspective shifting as well. And so like I definitely I guess if you're in that position, the sun will rise again, in large part because of the Living Legends format is designed, I think, to validate purposes.
And to our listeners, because I adore you and you are my people, you are our community. If you do need to borrow cards and you're on our Discord, you can message me and I will bring them to the event if I'm going to the same event. And then all you have to do is hand them back to me, unless they're rares, and then you can keep them because I just don't give a fuck. You have sugar daddies and sugar mama here that can help you.
Nope, I do not like that.
No? You don't like that? Okay, well, Jordan likes the sugar daddy part, so he's going to keep it.
Yeah.
So
and by that I mean my blood is literally half sugar.
Literally half sugar. But no, it's a community thing, right? Like for me, I want our community to be able to do the things they want to do. And our community in its smallest ecosystem is our locals, right? The next ecosystem for the three of us is really the podcast, is the group of people that interact with us via our Discord, via Twitter, and as part of the group of people that listen and care about what we have to say, which I don't understand the heavy drugs that you do, but Thanks. And then the greater ecosystem is in the game, right? It's all the other ecosystems under a banner. And I want to make sure that the ecosystems that I'm a part of, especially on on sort of a organizational level, are taken care of. And I will always be available for that. That's what I'm trying to say. Nothing that Abby's going to try to spin it into, because that's what she does. So
I
yeah,
don't know what you're talking about.
I think you do. I've said my piece. I'm done.
All right. Jordan, anything else?
No, I think Logan made a good point. I am worse about getting a hold of to borrow things, but I will lend them to you if I have them.
I like how you said no and then kept talking about stuff.
Gotham.
All right, so the giveaway. We are giving away the Seat to the Realm. Can I get something? Do we have a drum kit yet?
We still don't. Nope. You live in the same
Logan?
home as me, so you would know if a drum
Not
kit was
you.
posted.
Logan was the one buying a drum kit. You're in charge of getting the possum, which we will circle up on later.
I okay, so the truth of the matter is there's a drum kit in a cart on a website on my computer that I have almost bought about 12 times.
Okay,
So
we're close.
We're close. We're a I don't know how much my wife would like me having a drum kit in any sort of proximity to her office and or the bedroom area of our house. And I do not want to be relegated to the garage to play. So that would also make it very inconvenient for doing drum rolls for Abby's giveaways if it was out in a garage. Right. So that being said,
we'll table it. We'll bring it back in a couple weeks. Okay, so the winner is on Twitter at MTG_RB.
It's Jeff, right?
Yeah, it's Jeff.
Jeffo in the Discord.
Now, I should make a full disclosure. I messaged Jeff on Discord, and he cannot accept. So we are going to need to re-pick someone else after the show. But Jeff was the initial winner. He requested that I do, and I'm reading this literally word for word. Excite the next lucky listener with it. I'll gladly take an Aussie/New Zealand accent in the next episode as a consolation prize, however. Oi, mate, you won the Wicket prize. Congratulations, mate. You get a Vegemite sandwich. Cheerio.
My blood is fucking curdling right now in rage.
It's okay. I get a possum. Gosh, every time he does it, it just solidifies the argument.
Now. You get two possums.
He's been sent off his wicket in the red ball test cricket. I'm just saying words that I know.
Yeah, okay.
Go away.
All right, so we'll redraw and let the winner know next week.
And we'll announce our next giveaway.
Oh, we will probably let the next winner know before next week, for what it's worth, so they can.
Well, yes, but we'll announce it next week.
We'll announce what our next giveaway is going to be.
Don't we normally let them know
next
before
week?
the show comes out?
We do, but we just.
Okay. Anyways,
see, Abby was gone for 2 weeks. She really.
We don't need to air our dirty laundry here.
I mean, it's fucking filthy. Like there are streaks in Jordan's drawers that you would not believe.
As I say often at work, let's keep our dirty laundry to ourselves. We don't need to tell the others about it.
That's a typical union busting strategy.
That is union busting shit. But then we'll announce the next giveaway next week, right? Because we're still going to give shit away. Yeah, we probably should give something away for 200 Twitter followers too.
How close are we?
we're over.
Yeah, we've flown right by.
Yeah.
So okay, got it.
We gave something away for 100, and then 10 days later we were over 200. So
noted.
Oops.
All right,
and sure. I mean, like that sounds fun. People want to enjoy our banter or whatever we call it.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, as always, you can find us on Twitter at FlushPod. You can join our Discord. The link will be in the show notes. You can give us a 5-star review on Apple. You can subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts. You can like and subscribe on YouTube. We have an email. You can shoot us an email at flushandpod@gmail.com. I'm sorry, folks. I've been away for so long. I forgot how to do that. My personal Twitter is at AbbyD83. I did a tweet yesterday. But
I did a tweet.
Sadly, the Rajasthan Royals lost in the IPL finals, so it did not matter.
Oh,
heartbreaking!
Ouch.
Heartbreaking.
I didn't know you were a Royals stan. Okay.
Yeah. I am. Love them.
I think the first match we ever watched was in the Mumbai Indians versus the Rajasthan Royals.
Yep.
And we just like picked opposite sides to like, you know.
All right. That's fair.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So that happened. It was sad. I don't have a possum yet, but Jordan has solidified that he has to get me one. So we
Has
will
he?
get that. Yeah, he's done the accent twice now. That was the rule.
That was the rule.
So,
but it
Me
was
promising a possum is like the
possum.
government.
What's a possum?
It's like a really cool possum. Me
it
promising
is a promise possum.
is like the
It is a
government
prom- a
promising like
promise
benefits
possum.
to United States citizens. Like it's just a lie.
It's just a
We all
lie.
accept
Yeah.
it. Yeah. Yeah, but we keep believing it because
Benefits.
if we
Sure.
don't believe it, we'll get sad.
It's easy.
Did
Just
you
look at
know
the
that
check
possums?
boxes.
Did you know that
Go ahead.
possums are marsupials?
Yeah, they have
How do you know
pouches,
that?
They are not
Yeah.
related to rats. They are related to kangaroos.
but
So
they look like rats.
whoever told me that, you are wrong.
Did you know that podcasts don't have to go over an hour if you don't say nonsense?
Okay, I have said the least amount of nonsense out of the three of us.
About to say, Jordan, you're burying yourself and me, and that's 2 piano-sized coffins. So I guess I'll plug me. I do want
It
to
is
mention,
you, yeah.
because if you didn't win our giveaway or don't win our giveaway for the Realm seat, make sure to go over to the realmgamingnetwork.com to secure your seat for the 15K weekend on June 25th through 26th. Abby, you were supposed to read that part.
Sorry,
and Abby has
I
been
was
gone for 2 weeks and just has not figured out how to get back into the flow.
I
She
was
just is
very
not there yet.
distraught about the drum thing, and then Jordan went in with that god awful accent, and
Yeah, that's okay. I am not going to take any of this blame, but that accent's a fucking abomination. So that's our problem.
Greggy.
That's 3
Okay.
possums. You
All
can
right.
find me on Twitter at Logan Peterson, Petersen, for those of you that don't know how to spell. And I tweet about mostly Flesh and Blood, a little bit of MetaZoo right now because that game is a trash fire and I do not eat enough paint chips to play it.
I think that might be on a card. You might have to do that for a card. I don't know.
It might be. It might be a fourth wall effect. I don't fucking know. Like, come on. Also very active in the Discord, replying to people, and then letting people know that they are welcome, valid, and adored before I flame them. Jordan, where can we find you?
Find me on Twitter is the best place to get a hold of me at I'm Jorman, IMJORMAN. Also our Discord, but right now I'm tweeting a lot of Formula One.
What the hell's wrong
Oh
with you?
yeah, we got into that.
The Indian Premier League is finished, so
Yeah.
now my cricket tweeting will go down only because like tweeting about Test cricket is very boring. Like I like Test cricket, but it's 5 days long. I can't tweet minute by minute. It would be all consuming.
Aren't you like non-employed right now? Can you?
Oh, I'm on a project right now.
Oh, you're back on a project. Okay, your fun employment did not last long.
No, they typically don't. For my work situation, there's typically like a fun employment for like 2 days, and then I'm back to something.
Yeah, well,
but it's more time off than other people get, so I'm lucky. But
in America,
yeah,
specifically
right,
in
specifically
America,
in the United States, yeah. No, so yeah, I've been watching a lot of F1. It's like all of the cool stuff with NASCAR, but without the weird nationalism.
So what if you don't think there's any cool stuff in NASCAR?
So I get that racing's not for everybody. I'm not one of those people that's like, you don't like racing, what the hell's the matter with you? I happen to love it. But
It's people that drive too fast with their left turn signal on the entire time.
So
F1 is
Formula One is.
I know F1 is street racing. I get
Right.
that part.
Yeah.
Like that is okay. I can understand F1 a lot more than NASCAR. Like I am, even when NASCAR was like a thing in my family, which my family is full of people that actually drive race cars. I always preferred watching the road races when they happen in NASCAR.
Yes.
To the tri-ovals and ovals, right?
Right.
Mhm.
For sure.
So I can completely understand F1 from that perspective, because that looks like it takes some fucking gumption, honestly, to drive cars that are that wide, because those wheelbases are not narrow, on roads that twist and turn consistently at high rates of speed while trying to pass other vehicles doing the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
That, okay, I can follow that part, but how do you get into it is my question.
So, fair point.
You wake up early and watch the races.
All right. I have multiple friends that are into it, and they tweet about it a lot. And I randomly decided, this is actually sort of how I got into cricket. I just decided I was going to watch it, and I liked it enough to like. There's a Netflix documentary that is very popular. It's 4 seasons long, and it gets into the personalities and stories. And
Days of
like,
Thunder? I didn't think that
no,
was
it's
a
literally
documentary.
Formula One Drive to
Oh,
Survive. Yeah,
okay.
it's literally Netflix partners with Formula One. They get backstage access and like do interviews with like team members and like drivers and all this kind of stuff. And so the personalities are like, it's addicting almost. So you know how like the story building in wrestling is like the coolest part, like among the coolest things anyway. The story building in F1 with the drama between team members on like the same team, and then like the drama between different drivers, it's intoxicating. It's actually intoxicating.
Okay.
I would definitely encourage you to watch the first season of the Formula One Drive to Survive show on Netflix. They're 30-minute episodes. Like
Stranger Things season 4 exists. So
and Obi-Wan. Have you watched the Obi-Wan
I
series
did.
yet?
I'm not all the way through the first season of Stranger Things, or fourth season of Stranger Things that have come out so far. The first 7 episodes, because each one is the length of a movie.
Oh, is it
And
long?
yeah, and I've watched the first 5, and they are 5 of the best horror movies that have been released in the last 20 years.
I need to.
So
It's on our list now. I didn't know they were like each an hour and a half long.
they're hour 15, hour 20.
Okay, wow. Yeah, that's long.
And then the last 2 episodes are literal full length 2.5 hour movies.
Is it in the same universe, like the same like story?
All of it.
Okay,
is, yeah.
okay. So it's not some departure from what we like about Stranger Things. Okay.
No. It is a lot of doubling down on what makes Stranger Things incredible.
Should I go back and watch the first couple of seasons?
You don't need to.
Okay.
Okay. That is
That's a big concern of mine all the time.
Obi-Wan is interesting because they're starting to really delve into some of the things that make Star Wars geeks happy. For anybody that, I'm not going to explain why this matters, but for anybody that's watched Obi-Wan and is also just a giant EU nerd like I am, the little child's name in episode 2 that Haja helps to Corellia is named Corrin. Do your thing.
Not a big enough Star Wars nerd to appreciate the reference.
Nope, you sure aren't.
Nope. Sorry.
How do you spell it?
Sorry to disappoint.
Corran.
The NASCAR race yesterday had overtime though.
Yeah.
Love it.
I thought that was a soccer thing.
They don't do overtime in soccer.
They have extra time.
Yeah, they have stoppage time in soccer. Yeah, but no. So if a yellow flag would end the race in NASCAR, they do like a green white checker finish.
Yep.
The race yesterday was like it was like 6 hours long.
Yeah,
started at 6.
Either because of delays or something. I don't know what happened.
There were 18 cautions through the race.
Yeah, I left to go Magic Cube, came home, and the race was still on. 6 hours later. It was crazy.
Yeah, green white checkered finishes are actually the only good thing. The only thing I enjoy in NASCAR, honestly, are green white checkered finishes.
Yeah.
All right, let's get out of here because we are fucking on the nonsense train.
Yes,
we've been recording outtakes for the last time.
We were sub an hour, and then we managed to talk about television.
This is the part where we're allowed to go off topic.
I think a podcast would be fun. I don't know if people of our audience would like to hear us talk semi-regularly about like non-flesh and blood things, like our Star Wars obsessions, like our sports obsessions, but that would be fun.
Yeah, I mean, I know that we are going to be starting the drinking podcast because Elaine exists, and apparently the mixology portion of the Flesh and Blood Twitter sphere is actually quite large.
Yeah, lots of people are. She's a professional mixologist, from what I understand.
Professional mixologist, yes. Yeah. She's been doing it for like 5 years.
And Flake is a bartender by trade.
At one point, yeah.
Former bartender.
Yep. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So. There's a lot of them. And
I was a bartender.
I'm a professional drinker.
There you go.
I mean, I could drink for the government if they wanted to pay me. But yeah, so I think there's going to be some splinter podcasting happening. That's for sure.
Good.
All right, let's get this out of here. Anyone have anything else?
No, God.
All right, that is all we have for this week. We will talk to you next week. Bye.
Bye.